New reaction, New Age Theology, Pantheism.
The theology of cosmic humanism is pantheism, the idea that everything is God and God is everything. The word pantheism comes from two Greek words, pan, meaning all, and theos, meaning God. Everything is God.
The theology of cosmic humanism is what is termed pantheism, and pantheism is the belief that everything is God and God is everything. And this cashes out in their practice in terms of reverencing everything, all of life and non-life, whether things are human or non-human. Everything is divine.
The popular New Age spokesperson,
That's so crazy, eh? Everything is God.
Deepak Chopra, explains God turns out to be the only thing that is real, and the whole universe, despite its immensity and solidity, is a projection of God's nature. Because all is one, and this one is God.
You know, this is a really popular belief in the Hinduism culture, because they have thousands, I don't know if it's millions or thousands of gods, and everything in life is God, you know, in its own way, unique way. But let's see.
Humans should seek God consciousness. That is, they must get in touch with the cosmic energy force that is divine. Shirley MacLaine writes, "You each need to become masters of your own souls, which is to say, the realization of yourselves as God."
New Age does not actually believe that we are potential gods, but that we are gods, that we are actually one with God. God is in us and we are God. It's just that we have not attained to that level of consciousness or self-awareness to recognize that we are God. And the whole purpose of the various disciplines that New Age will put out, whether it's yoga in its various forms or meditation, etc., are all supposed to lead to this higher state of consciousness, of self-realization, which comes out to be recognizing or realizing that you are, in fact, God.
New Agers do not believe that this cosmic energy they call God is a personal being distinct from creation. Rather, God is an impersonal force or power that produces and pervades everything.
Everything in this universe is in fact energy. An ultimate form of energy is consciousness, and that is God, and that is in you, and you need to experience your oneness with everything. That's really pantheism.
Such dangerous doctrine. You know, because it's all about consciousness and awareness, and when you've reached that state, then and you're aware of your surroundings and your environment and the atmosphere, and you'll become one with everything. See, the dangers of that is that nothing's false. Everyone in their own mind is gonna see themselves as God in many different ways. Whereas a person who thinks pedophilia is fine, I mean, you preach that kind of message to them, that's the God of their heart. I mean, what's dangerous about it is that if you think that nothing is false and everybody's got their own truth, and to them that's their God, the contradictions that come out of that is what leads people to destructiveness. It's what leads people to point out at other people and say, you know, you're not following my God and your one contradicts mine, which is why it doesn't work at its core. You know what I mean? It's just another feel-good message that people would receive only because they get to continue doing what they're doing, and the God of their life will always be sin. That's what it comes down to. It'll always be sin, regardless of what you think it is. You know, I want to help people, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I mean, you know, you try and put yourself out there as a morally good person, you're idolatrous in your heart. You know what I mean? You're going to think that in your own mind and your own way of life, it's gonna be okay, because as long as I'm not treating others a certain way, then for me, then it's okay. But again, it doesn't work.
As Deepak Chopra asserts, God, it turns out, isn't a person, God is a process. I see no difference between myself and God. When I pray, I find that I'm praying to myself. God is...
Then why pray at all? It's just, when I pray, I find that I'm praying to myself. What are you praying for then? Like, you know what I mean? Like, prayer is supposed to be communion, relationship with someone else besides yourself. So that's called crazy. It's called mental. Anyhow,
not separate from us. We are God. This is why so few New Agers actually pray. Rather, they meditate. Prayer becomes unnecessary, writes Chopra. Finally, in the state of unity consciousness, there is no need for prayer. Your every thought comes from the soul. Therefore, you would only be praying to yourself.
Well, every thought comes from your soul, but then those thoughts have to come from somewhere. Everything has to have a source. If someone kills other people, where do those thoughts come from? Where does the desires of the heart, what's it built from? Because in every culture, people grow up differently. And so one culture might think of things one way, whereas another culture would think, their way of seeing life would be totally different from the last person. So, when we say your every thought comes from the soul, we say, therefore you would only be praying to yourself. That's somewhat true, but everybody draws knowledge from somewhere. And how do you dictate whether that is good or bad? I mean, we can't say that everything's good, because then nothing's bad. How do you determine what's, how do you make the distinction between what's good and what's bad? Because everybody intuitively knows that there's good and bad, but this kind of doctrine here will tell people, doesn't matter what you do or how you think, you are the God of your life, and that's obviously totally opposite to what the Bible says. But yeah, be blessed.